Okay, so here we've got it's a Frigidaire Gallery heavy duty commercial. It's probably very similar to other units. It was used in a household, it wasn't used in a commercial, and it basically wasn't heating. And so what had happened is this hot line here that goes into the motor, which is a black wire, and is activated by the start run motor switch, has lost contact in between there, and so when we run it, there's no power coming out of this yellow line to feed the heaters or the heat element. And so what I found was, when I checked it, of course everything was good, and so I pulled the motor switch apart, and it looked a little bit, yeah, the model number's worn off this thing. The motor switch looked a little bit sort of fatigued, and so I pulled it apart, and so the yellow one would be this main one right here on the end, and that would feed the heat element, and then this here on this end would be the L2, one of the 110 leads. And so the points in between there have gotten sort of dirty, and so basically what I'm going to do is clean it up and put her back together, and hopefully it'll fly. And there's your Frigidaire tip for today. Hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, so just wanted to go over one more thing. Of course, there's your heating element. You can visually check it to make sure. Sometimes you have to, I try not to touch these things because the oil on your fingertips may cause it to heat more in one place than the other. Always make sure this has got a good bearing in it. I just lubed it, and it's not sunken down or anything. So anyway, on these heating elements, sometimes you have to tap them because sometimes the break may not easily be seen. And so on the thermostats, some dryers will have these little thermostats, like a high limit cutoff stats, or one time like a fuse that blows. You can't reset them, they don't reset. You can just check them with a ohm meter. Usually I like to isolate them, so I pull one lead off, make sure you're unplugged. Sometimes you'll look up here in the harness and you'll see some hot, some wires that got hot here because of the loose connection from the plug, and they'll just break off and cause it to, malfunction. So anyway, always check those, make sure everything's tight, clean. And the thermostats, basically, you should have continuity between them. So then this one's got a thermostat down here. And so between the two main contacts on that thermostat, you'll have continuity. And on the let's see, the little bitty side terminals, usually they don't give me a problem, but on the little bitty side terminals, it says here, this is control thermostat, and so it's saying 28k ohms, I believe, across those two. So it's basically should have continuity. So anyway, that's your Frigidaire tip for today, and I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for more exciting repairs. Rate, comment, and subscribe.